You're getting really good at clapping there, Gail.
Thank you.
Expert level. Can you clap with one hand? Trosk, can you clap with one hand? Gail?
I used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. Just about gave myself a cramp
Yeah.
trying to do that.
I've been putting my neck out heaps recently.
That's young people activity.
Yeah. You know, there's this guy. Have you seen the dude who has got the world record for most number of claps in like a minute? And he does it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like that. I think not only should that be the record for the most number of claps, but it should also be the world record for the dumbest world record ever made.
Bro. Well, yeah, I think that we straight up just get into that. Why don't we go find some dumb world records? Gail, sorry, we're putting you to work straight away.
Just told us. Please give me a heads up if I have to research something. Find us the dumbest world record, please.
There's David Dobrik's one.
What's his one?
So he holds the record for the largest pillow.
The largest pillow?
Yes.
Wait, is it just a regular shaped pillow?
It is the
scaled
size
up?
of a skyscraper.
What?
And it's him.
Oh,
Have you seen this?
I think I've seen this. Yeah, it's shaped like him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's huge.
So he did this. I think he did this campaign where he obviously was just selling David Dobrik's pillow, versions of
like
himself.
a body
for,
pillow.
Yeah, for people to cuddle.
Yeah, cuddle pillow.
Which is a real tough thing to do, don't you think?
I kind of like it.
I like it for him,
Yeah.
but I think he's one of the very few people that would that would work for.
I don't know. That's what
We're
I
in
do.
the first 5 minutes. This is demonetization written all over it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
let's get on to lighter topics.
I want to know. Do you think he's that's an arrogant thing to do, isn't it?
Body pillow of yourself?
To create so many body pillows and then also know that they're gonna sell.
I guess you didn't know. Well, you never know.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have had an inbox full of requests to make a, body
I
shaped
would not be
pillow.
surprised if there was.
Do you think it'd be from men or from women?
Both.
Both?
Yeah. For sure.
Sorry, boys or girls?
Yeah.
Considering his fan base.
Yeah.
Which was us too, by the way. We're not.
It's an interesting thing though, to make a body pillow of yourself.
Especially when you've been accused of sexual harassment and shit.
I think this is pre-sexual harassment, David Dobrik.
I see.
Do you want to see that? You want to see it though? Have you seen this pillow?
I don't think so. No.
That's the pillow.
Oh shit!
It's fucking gigantic. So
Doesn't look.
Do you know
very
what's
soft.
funny to me? Is that he gets the Guinness World Record, but he had no input in production.
Other than I want it bigger.
Yeah. Other than ordering other people to do it, and then he gets the medal for the largest pillow.
It's true.
What is the Guinness? What is his record for? Largest pillow of myself created, or created the largest pillow ever because he didn't do it.
No, I 100% agree with you right there.
Yes. What is his Guinness World Record?
I see. His Guinness World Record is the
idea.
No, it is his record because he paid for it. He paid for the pillow to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Mm.
All you have to do is pay for something and it's yours. Do you know if you buy a beat of someone, you can buy for music.
Yeah.
You can even buy someone's voice sample outright.
Really?
So you can own.
So what
whatever they've made.
I can hit up Lil Baby and I can say, hey, I need a hook, and then he'll sell me one for some money.
Yeah, there's different tiers of what you can do in terms of owning your masters,
Right.
as an artist. So if Lil Baby decides to sell you exclusive rights to that verse, where you own it, and you can do whatever you want with that verse, then yeah, you would own his voice recording.
So it's a gamble on his end, meaning he can either sell you the rights to the verse outright if he thinks that it's like not that great, and he can sell it for like 40,000, or you could say, hey, jump in on this song. You can have like 40% of the song, but I'm only going to pay you like 20K for doing a verse.
Also, if he buys the verse outright, he doesn't have to say featuring Lil Baby.
Oh, I see.
You don't have to do anything. It's yours. You're the only artist. Regardless of whose voice is on there, you've purchased it, which is the same as a pillow thing, right? So, like,
yeah,
if you've purchased it yourself, then that's your property, right?
So that must
kind
mean
of like slave ownership back in the day, It's like once you purchase it, there's a contract between you. I know I'm going real left field in your response. Just trying to quickly, But that you're selling someone as a service or product, and the two people actually have no ownership. That's exchanging that deal.
I got you. Yeah. No, that makes sense. So that must mean that Kanye has to buy those verses outright because he doesn't put featuring like on.
Yeah, I imagine so. I imagine he does. Or it's an agreement. I mean, anything can be written in a contract and can go that way. But right. I know for a fact that you can buy someone else's art or their work, say artwork, and then sell it as your own. That's what ghost, it's like ghost producing or ghost writing.
I see.
Which Drake got called up for.
Yes.
So someone else writes your verses and you perform it, but you don't actually have to perform it. That's the thing. And you can still say, no, it's me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. On paper, it's me.
I have a brilliant idea.
Mm-hmm.
There are websites, AI websites now, where you can create text-to-speech, very convincing text-to-speech, and you can create an AI voice. You can drag sliders up and down and make it whatever voice you want, whatever accent, whatever dialect, whatever, anything on it. There is a gap in the market right now for a rapper who isn't using his own voice, but is using a completely AI-generated voice and completely, generated lyrics.
I don't know if we want to share this information with the public.
Yeah. Probably not, because somebody's going to do this.
That's fucking brilliant.
It's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
It's like, and the name can just be I don't know, just like a series of letters and numbers.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. No one would know if it's a real person or not.
No, it would be 01.
Yeah.
That would be the name of the rapper, 01.
Or just 0.
Yeah, or 0.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Or 1.
Or just 1.
Zeros and ones, baby.
Yeah.
Never lies.
Or any combination of
You remember that? You remember that thing we watched where, it was like, a bot was instructed to write a song and perform a song. Did we not?
That wasn't me.
Yeah, no, we have looked at this. You'll forget. No, we did this at St. Helens, 100%.
So
you showed it to me.
Oh yeah. I remember this. Yeah, there's a guy who makes video clips for songs, and it's just AI generated. Okay, so this is actually a pretty cool story. So I'm gonna explain it. So there is a YouTube channel of a guy who uses a really complex piece of AI software, and it's the way that it works is somebody's been feeding this AI a massive database of images and what's in those images. So you put up a picture of a cat and you say it's a cat. You put up a picture of a dog, say it's a dog, whatever, cornfield, it's a cornfield. And what the AI does, the way that he's sort of programmed it is when you have a song playing, it will figure out what the words of the song are because it can recognize words.
Yeah.
And then it will make a constantly shifting image that creates whatever is in the songs, whatever is in the lyrics of the song, and it will create a music video.
And it grabs these images just from Google. If let's say if the word was water, would it just try and grab water, or would it try to create water?
It would it's contextual, right? So it's not just single words. It's looking at the water was rising or whatever, something like that.
Right.
And it would try to figure out what is rising, what is water, what would water rising look like, and it creates a painting that's constantly shifting.
Yeah, so it creates it. It doesn't It doesn't like take images from somewhere or manipulate them in any way.
Yes.
It's just
yes.
It's like a painting, yeah.
And it is one of the like craziest, most like incredible things that you'll ever see is a computer trying to paint what a song lyric is.
And do you remember the discussion that we got into around this? Was, like, what is art? And, if robots take over every part of life, what do humans have?
Yes.
What value can they provide?
Yes.
And it is art.
Yes.
And if robots can do it.
That's right. That's exactly what we talked about. We were like, we thought the last bastion of like needing humans on the planet was the fact that robots can't create art.
Yeah.
And then we saw this,
Yeah.
which was a robot creating art, and it was creating in such a free-flowing way, which is actually how art's supposed to be created, without a thought, just putting whatever's in your mind straight onto the canvas, and it was doing it better than any human could have.
Yeah.
Because it was just referencing its material so quickly and then just putting it up from thousands and thousands of pictures of water that it's got in its database, and then creating what it would think water rising would look like, and it just looked better than any painting.
And it's funny because we talked about where does art come from? Is it replication? Was art created and then was it copied? Or are people still able to create like brand new ideas without any what's the word?
Source material.
Any source material.
Yeah. So I think art is just
because the robots can't. The robots can't do it without.
But I mean, then what are we?
That was where we went. That's where we went.
We're just a robot creating a reinterpretation of something by referencing the source material, which is how the robot does it too.
I love it when artists, especially, and there are quite a few, when there's an arrogant artist come out and they blow up or whatever, or they get a lot of attention. A lot of them say, I don't have any inspiration on my own thing. It's just like...
Yeah. So what, you've never heard music?
Were you hidden in a box your entire life?
Yeah.
And you just, from this box, you thought of all these ideas and that's why it's original? No, don't think so. You can grab inspiration from your fourth grade English class, That's right. Like, when you first started reading a book or something like that.
Yeah, Roald Dahl. Yeah. He was my inspiration.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So...
Yes. You could say that for a lot of rappers these days.
And it's progressive, isn't it? It's like we started, hitting rocks on a stick, and a stick on a rock, and then a bigger rock, and we're like, holy shit, that sounds different.
That sounds pretty sick.
We could probably do a couple of different things here.
Yeah, let's stretch out this animal skin over this barrel over here. See what that sounds like.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how the 808 was born.
Basically.
Yeah.
Just years of evolution, really. Do you feel like we're going to reach a point of nothing new? Because people have been saying that new movies aren't coming out for a long ass time.
Well, this is the whole thing about like microwave memes, right? Every sentiment that has existed, anything that's funny, anything that is like very relatable in terms of the human experience has already been put forth and like inspected in a way.
Yeah, so you think we're past that point, eh?
I think we're pretty much past it now. Like anything, that's why on this podcast we tend to just talk about new shit that's coming out, like new technologies and stuff.
Well, once technology was implemented in music and movies, it's kind of over. I feel like the technology will always get better.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So once we like get to a point where there's very little human element in the production of the music, then nothing new will ever happen.
I just think it's like what's the most efficient way to do something? Find the best way to do it, and then repetition. It's like you want to find the best possible way to do something, and then you want to do it consistently. And a program basically will do that. Especially, let's talk about like CGI, right?
Yes.
Computer generated. So it'll get to a point where it's like, can the technology adapt more. I'm not sure, but it will get to a point where it plateaus, I assume.
That actually reminds me of a thing, like almost exactly what you're talking about. There is an AI very similar to the one that we just talked about that they have piled a bunch of dash cam footage into it, like hundreds of thousands of hours of dash cam footage of cars driving like through the roads in like Europe, US, all these other places. And then they program the AI to look at frames of GTA 5 and replace them with the most similar image that it had within its millions of hours of dash cam footage. And then the way that it looks when somebody plays GTA with this AI switched on is it looks like you're driving a car.
I have to see this. Can you see this?
Yeah.
So you're saying is it just a video that it like shows you what it would be like, or
No, it's a guy playing it.
playing GTA?
Yes.
But with real...
With dash cam footage that is used to recreate whatever is happening in the game.
So
as close as it
is it a hybrid of like a animated character and real footage? Or is it... Sorry, did you say it's replicated?
So what it does is...
I have to see this to
yeah,
fully understand.
It's really hard to explain. What it does is it... Like, with every frame, right? So, like, you're driving and there's a building on this side, there's a car in front of you, and there's, like, some pedestrians over here, right? And maybe there's a big yellow billboard or something. It'll cross-reference its entire source material to find those elements, and then it will just substitute as much of its source material as it can to recreate what is there, and then it will do this on a frame-by-frame basis.
Yeah, kind of like the photo thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you've
Let us have
got...
a look at some footage from the game Grand Theft Auto 5. The game looks great, but it is not quite photorealistic. Let us now turn on our method. Our method modifies the images from the game to look more realistic. It is a convolutional network which produces images frame by frame and can be run at interactive rates.
It's just... Yeah, so this is obviously just like the peak that you could reach. Is just to make something as real as possible.
Yes.
We've got a limit on what we can see in our eyes and entertainment-wise. Like, we can't see the highest resolution, so going higher is pointless at it reaches a point of...
At a point, there's no point.
It's like going to the brain if you want better quality.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Neuralink me up, baby.
And your brain probably can't even conceive of an image of high quality because it's only ever seen images of what the eyes are possibly taking in, right? Even if you went straight to the brain, you can't necessarily read it.
You can't be... Yeah. It's... you need a new brain. No, I don't know. You need new eyes, basically. You would need robotic implants to maybe see further. I don't know. But what we do know is that it reaches a point, right? Where you can't do better.
Yeah, you can't make something more realistic. No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, you can't.
And with music, there's a limited amount of sounds you can use.
Yes, that's true. There's a limited number of notes, frequencies, and there's a limited number of permutations of how you can put them together.
Yeah.
Meaning that at some point in time, we will have made every song that can be made using what human ears can hear.
Yeah, eventually. It would take a very, 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 very long time.
I'm sure someone's done a YouTube video on this.
Yeah, this is just fucking with my head, to be honest.
Hopefully that's after we die.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about it, like the robot thing is actually more entertaining to me now than consuming human-made products.
Speaking of which, do you know about Dyson?
Like the vacuum?
Yeah, they got vacuums. They've got like those.
They're doing some crazy shit.
Bladeless fans and stuff. You know, like those fancy bladeless fans. I know a lot of girls are into those, like the Dyson hair dryers. They rate those quite highly, because they are the best of the best and all that sort of stuff. So Dyson tends to make like some of the like top quality.
What about the GHD, bro?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know if that's
that could be Dyson even. That's how much I know. Anyway,
could be. Anyway, Dyson has got a new division now, part of their company, which is Dyson Robotics.
Of course.
So now they're making robots for like as like homewares.
The
right?
Jetsons.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So they actually
It's fucking about time.
they
They've got the
unveiled
Roomba.
something. The what? Roomba. Oh
yeah.
yeah, that's a robot.
Yeah.
That's a straight up robot.
Mm.
So they've got these new robotic arms, which they showed in a video.
In this building, we're focused on robotics. There's a big future in robotics. It's saving people time, performing chores for people, and improving people's daily lives. I mean, I'm a parent. I've spent half my life cleaning up after my kids, and it's pretty tedious. We've been working for about 20 years now on floor care robots, which are puck format robots. And ours really do vacuum, by the way. But aside to that, we've also been doing a lot of research into robotics, which no one's aware of. So for the last 10 years, we've been sponsoring the Imperial College. So actually the work that's going on in these PhDs is ripe.
Yeah, can you just pause that quickly? It's funny, because, you know, I think Iron Man 1 comes out 2008.
Uh-huh.
That's when you first get that robot arm.
Oh, yes.
That's when you see it. And,
okay.
And it's got a name. You know, he's got his AI Jarvis that runs
yes.
everything.
Yes.
And he's got that thing that's always fucking up and dropping shit. And he's always, like, yelling at it. And, he's, like, putting it in a corner and shit. Like, like in response. Like, it's, like, sad. It's just this little... It's like, yeah. Exactly. So he's got one of those. And I'm like, fuck, man. I really want one of those.
Could do with one of those.
That's, like, the... Gary Vee as well, he said this. The future of, like, what's next. You know, we had pushing buttons, then we had touchscreen.
Yeah.
We went from bigger TVs to watching movies on our phones. Voice is better than text.
Yes.
You know, thinking it is above voice.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So.
But there's nothing beyond that.
Thinking?
There's nothing beyond that.
No.
There's no faster way for us to communicate with tech.
But voice sucks right now. So voice is next. And then, you know, maybe in 40 years we have a brain one that's, like, really good. You know, like the first iPhone was dog shit, you know. So the first voice, like Siri's not good.
Google Assistant's
Google's
good.
better, much better. And it's getting better and better and better. But to the point where you can just communicate with your house like Tony Stark does.
Yeah.
That's the goal, right? So you can get, you know, they've got like the Amazon Home. So you can connect different devices, but it's still like...
Yeah, it's not
Things
great.
go wrong. I've used Google Wi-Fi and extenders and everything for setting up Google products, because Google's my favorite to use other than my iPhone.
Yes.
Everything on my phone is Google. But setting it up is still fucking tedious. So to the point where you can just feel like, all right, set up, wake up, and the lights fucking turn on, and your arm comes, and you're like, make me a coffee, and it makes the coffee for you, and pick it up. That's where you want to be at.
Damn, man.
But that's where that arm's at, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it looks like something that they're going to.
Now here's a problem.
Yeah.
We're obviously getting the advancements, but every time something good advances, something potentially bad does as well.
Wow.
You know, the closer we get to Skynet.
True.
This is we've talked about this many times, especially with the Optimus bot by Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
The dangers of AI. As much as we want it, I want it bad. I want to just, all right, wake up, let's go. You know,
that's the dream.
But at the same time,
can turn into a nightmare.
It could kill you.
Yes.
Fuck your coffee, dog. His arm just fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sharp thing. It's made of metal. It's a lot stronger than my meat sack of a body.
My fleshy little.
I'd prefer to actually have most of my body first robotic before we bring more mechanical instruments into the business.
Would you I think we've talked about this before as well, but like do you think that when they allow people to actually replace their limbs for a robotic limb, that people with perfectly good limbs will actually replace them?
So let's go into that other one I sent you actually first before we go into the AI. So if you were to lose an arm, would you want a robotic arm?
Absolutely.
Or would you want a bio arm?
A bio arm?
Someone else's arm.
Oh, I'll take a robot arm any day of the week.
100%, right?
100%.
When you're on social media, you're seeing a lot of new developments. You know, when robots come out, every fucking thing you see is like, okay, it's like the robot age or the space. We're going to space now. So,
Yes.
like, as soon as space was possible, fucking Jeff Bezos, this motherfucker and that motherfucker were all up at the same time, and we were talking space.
Yes.
I'm seeing a lot of these posts, different people having the same things done.
Uh-huh.
And for me, I felt like robotics was the next stage for us. They had that case of a heart transplant in the UK that was done. The only one ever that was a mechanical function.
Wow.
That
I think I actually read about that.
100% keen on that. You know,
A
I can
robotic
understand that a lot more than I can like
A limb.
constructing genetics.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genetic material or whatever. Anyway, so this guy's had a double arm transplant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. World's first ever double arm and shoulder transplant recipient makes incredible recovery. Wow.
It's nuts, right?
So he got 2 arms from the same cadaver, or?
It's a, you know how if you're in a car crash or something, or you die and you're an organ donor, I guess you can just fucking donate your entire body now.
Wow.
So you can donate your limbs. He's got other someone else's arms on his arms now.
That is
A living person
pretty crazy.
a living person that has done things with their hands.
Yeah. All those things.
He now jerks off with someone else's hand. Is all I'm trying to say.
Is that gay?
Is it gay? Yeah. Why would this be the next stage?
No, I can understand why, that side of the argument, right? You might actually, because with a robot arm, you can't really feel, right? And then when you're also touching someone, it doesn't feel like a human touching them to them. Okay, how about this then? If you lost your dick, would you get a robo penis? AKA a vape?
A vape?
Just kidding. No, would you get a robo penis?
I would definitely get the vape attachment.
Oh, I see.
So that if you are getting head, that someone could also take a vape pull.
Girls are addicted to my shit, bro.
They get motherfucking withdrawals from this dick.
Yeah. For real, though.
No, like seriously, she's an AA.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a... Have you seen this?
I have, yeah. I have.
I just want to show this to everyone anyway. It's my favorite fucking
En fait,
video
il
of all
suffit
time.
d'enregistrer les fonctions désirées dans la base de données. Et par exemple, je peux vous montrer la fonction que j'ai enregistrée ce matin. C'est la 2. Attendez, est-ce qu'il y a mon aide-soignant qui est pas... Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Ouais,
voilà.
parce que c'est de...
Je vais essayer.
Ouais. Non, ah non,
Visiblement, ça ne marche pas. Car Patrick, j'avais pas perdu la main.
I love that video.
Yeah,
It's good, eh? But yeah, what do you think of this? So, someone else has also had a double hand transplant, not arms, but so they lost their hands due to a disease that they had, and it basically made him close his fists without trying to. Eventually, his hands just
seized up.
seized up like this. It's part of the disease; it just corrodes you or whatever.
Okay.
And then eventually they just amputated the hands, and they put someone else's fucking hands on.
Fresh new set.
Fresh new set.
Wow.
Yeah. This guy's got
pretty amazing,
seriously
really.
chode fingers too. It's like ridiculous the hands that they put on this guy. It looks like his hands are much bigger than...
Oh.
Anyway, I'm just saying, I would have rather designed a perfectly good looking robotic
like a
arm.
robo hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's like pluses and minuses to both, right? Like obviously with a robot hand, you could get it to be able to eventually shoot repulsor blasts and stuff like that. You could probably lift up shit you normally can't lift, but...
Well, 100%
Yeah.
you can
Think
pick
about
up
your grip strength, bro. If you're hanging from a building and you got a robo hand, all you're dependent on is how much battery you got left. It's got nothing to do with how strong you are. Like, you can hold on for days or until the battery runs out, right?
dick to head, I think is really the only thing that's necessary. The rest I'm happy to get some replacements for.
True.
Yeah. Just even one robotic arm is...
That would be the ideal for me. One robotic arm from the shoulder, maybe even the chest as well. Kind of like Cyborg from Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seen what he's got going on?
Well, he's
Seen
pretty
his
much
setup?
got his entire body, bro.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of the cartoon, like the older one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, one arm's... Well, iRobot is a pretty good example. He's got one robot arm.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, I would definitely go robo all the way.
Me
Well,
too.
I mean, it's less likely chance of dying, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
And
less chance of something fucking going wrong when it's more machinery that can just be replaced.
True. I mean, and if you get it chopped off, you just get a new one,
Yeah.
right?
That's my point. It's
Yeah.
like, how many times can you replace this fucking guy's hand? Like, how many hands have they got? You know? And if you only chop off one hand, are you going to get both replaced to look the same?
I don't think it matters at that point.
So, they've taken... Gail, you've got that slide, eh? They've now taken this robot thing to the next level. World's first living robots are now able to reproduce.
Get out.
What the fuck is this about?
What? What do you mean reproduce?
So, US scientists have revealed the world's... Okay, whatever. Shut up. Known as xenobots. They've used the cells of African clawed frogs. And so just, animal experimentation with robots, which is so many red flags flying up there.
Yeah.
This is the one thing they probably, don't do that. I don't know why we would need robots to reproduce.
I mean, it saves on production costs.
That's true. That's true. But
So what else do you know about this? Like, what does that mean, reproduce? Like, are you telling me a robot can have a womb and then a mini robot can grow? Or
so what I think is maybe... can you chuck it up again for us, please? Just that last section. Published. Oh, yeah, okay. So the scientists who created the xenobots said in November that the synthetic life forms that look like blobs can also self-replicate. So those blobs there is the robot. So they're programming...
Oh, so that's a synthetic organism that can reproduce. So it's still not complex. It's like not even a multicellular organism, but it can reproduce.
Yeah.
So we have essentially created...
Life?
Life? A being?
That's what I'm...
That's pretty crazy.
I don't think these synthetic life forms have a consciousness.
Wow. Shit,
And we're
man.
taking material from a frog.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that just a frog?
I think they can instruct it. I don't think it reproduced. What does it say? It self-replicates. So it is... we're gonna have to deep dive on this one a little bit, I think. But we'll get back to this one
Okay.
later.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, so
all right. We'll be
it's
watching
pretty. It's pretty
closely.
interesting, and what's fucking next? This is what I always say.
I'll tell you something that happened on the way. So you know a little bit about the metaverse, right?
Yeah. As much as anyone, really. No, probably. Yeah. Okay, go on.
You know a bit about Facebook has released that new, I guess, like metaverse game, which is called something Horizons. I forget exactly what it's called, but it got released like in the last couple of weeks, and people.
Facebook released it.
Yeah. Well, it's a Facebook product, right?
Right.
And so, people have made YouTube videos testing it out, and some people have written articles on it. And I saw an interesting article recently where a girl said that she got raped in the metaverse. So, woman virtually raped by stranger in Meta's metaverse as another user watches on.
Okay, let's
Check this out. Can we just go a little bit bigger?
Yeah.
All right. A woman researching the virtual world Horizon Worlds by Metaverse was virtually raped by a stranger while another watched on and passed around a bottle of vodka. I don't want to laugh too soon, but my it's just the bottle of vodka that got me. I don't know. So my girlfriend brought this to my attention, and she was completely distraught. She said, "This is the this is the most worst, scariest, most disgusting thing I've ever heard. I can't believe that this is happening. You know, somebody got raped in the metaverse. Can you imagine how like toxic the world must be because people are doing it like in the metaverse
For entertainment.
And like it's just because they can't do it in real life because it's illegal or something like that.
I've been telling people well, has she played GTA?
That's what I tried to explain, right? Like I tried to say, Ash, even back when I was a kid and I was playing Halo, as soon as somebody killed me, they would come and squat on my dead body for like 3 minutes, like as an insult.
Yeah.
I said to her, have you heard of Fortnite? You have a dance that you do every time you kill someone.
Yeah.
That is what the world of like gaming and stuff is all about. They go and taunt each other and they do stuff they can't do in the real world. This shouldn't come as a shock.
That's the point, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess now when you're trying to put the gaming fantasy world and real life together, that's why, I mean, this article is even being written in the first place. Because as a gamer,
yes,
you're like, okay.
Yeah, right?
Just like, did you take your headset off?
That's exactly what I said. I was like, come on, like, why don't you just take it off?
I hope this isn't a bigger deal than it. Like, is it what?
I think it is, bro. So here's the thing.
I want to know more.
Okay. She said, it happened so fast, I kind of disassociated. One part of my brain was like, WTF is happening. And the other part was like, this isn't a real body. And another part of me was like, this is important research. A Meta spokesperson told the Mail that the woman did not have the personal boundary feature on, a tool that's used to prevent non-friends from coming within 1 meter. In Horizon Worlds, personal boundary is a default on almost...
So they're prepared for this situation. It's not like... Okay.
Yeah, they've got like controls in place to try and stop that. But this story like I've seen this story around a lot of places like The Verge and stuff like that. And even it's on BBC as well. Like
all these fucking casuals.
People are really concerned about somebody getting raped in the metaverse. Like it's almost like it's real.
It's fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I sometimes walk away from my computer from the stuff that I've seen and heard being like, I don't think I can game again.
Yeah.
And that's just the world you enter. It is a complete fantasy where there are no rules. There are community guidelines of things you cannot say, and it's basically limited to racism. Everything else is good to go.
Yeah. Open season.
Racism and probably sexism to a degree is probably... No one is sexist in gaming, though. Everyone just worships whatever woman is on the team. So,
yeah.
Is that sexist? Possibly. But no one's complaining. Whereas the racial things is... there's way more racist people than you think just by going onto a game. Like...
Of course. But people, like, also turn up the racism when they're on a game.
They turn up the dial.
Like They do.
Yeah. They just use it as something to... try upset someone. It's a tool to upset someone because there's no consequences. And
of course.
When you're doing this,
yes,
then you are
I don't know. So her point was like she was saying the world must be, the world must be really terrible because as soon as people have got a place with no rules, they go out and do that. And I said to her like. But how is Twitter not the same thing? It's like everyone throwing out like these cancellations and calling each other like names and stuff like that. They wouldn't do that to each other in the real world. I mean, it's exactly the same. People act more decent when they're in the real physical world.
Which is funny now because people can be held accountable for their actions on social media.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. It is nuts. Yes. And what's next? After an article like this, people are going to have to be held accountable for things that have occurred in a game. Like like GTA at some point, if this is the progression, at some point GTA is going to be like, I can't believe when we were kids we played that game. That's nuts. That's crazy. It promotes violence and,
Do you think that they're going to have courts in the metaverse where you have to like go on trial for raping someone in the metaverse? Like, because obviously you can't go to real court for it because it's not real. So maybe you'd have to go to a metaverse
Neither is
court.
fucking saying something on social media. How's that real? People are being held accountable for that, for a tweet that they've made and it's being brought up in a real court case. There's no, like... I mean, as far as evidence goes, you'll be like, my brother was on my account. What does it matter?
It's definitely more real, I'd say, than something you do in the metaverse, though. Right? Because, you know, if I went out there and I said something like Trotsky's a racist, I heard him say X and Y and I tweeted about it, then that is affecting your real personality, like your real
So
human
you're basing this
vessel.
based off it being recorded.
Yeah.
Right. Is that what you mean? So I'm saying if there is an actual voice recording of me saying something inappropriately,
no voice
or
recording,
doing something inappropriate,
it's just an accusation. If I'm just accusing you of something, you can't just take the social media off and then that accusation goes away. Whereas with this, like in the metaverse, if I don't want to like be involved in a drive-by shooting, I just take off the headset. Whereas if I accuse you on social media, you can't just delete your social media and it's gone.
When you play Valorant, you can report someone, right?
Yeah.
So you can say reported for griefing, which is like if we're on a team and our objective is to kill someone else, and you just keep killing me. It's like
People do that?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, okay.
Anything you could possibly think of how to fuck someone off, people do that.
Oh, okay.
Like anything.
Yes.
Like it just, there's just, anyway. Anything other than fucking helping me out and winning this game is what most people do.
Okay.
I don't often get into a game where all 5 people are like, all right, guys, let's do this.
Really?
Literally, it happens maybe like fucking 5% of the time.
That just shows
The gaming
how little I
community's
game.
oh, it's so toxic. Anyway, the point is that when you report someone, the game is recorded. What is said is recorded, so that they can review it and block that account.
I see.
If they did do what someone has accused them of.
Right.
Now, I report people all the time, and usually I'm pretty fucking successful.
Nah.
Every time I open up my game, it says, your report has been reviewed and that person has been blocked. And I go, fuck yeah. What? I'm trying to get from 5% to at least 10%. All right? I want to get rid of as many dickheads on this game as possible for me to be able to enjoy it.
Fair enough. You're
and then
a
straight
goal-orientated
afterwards,
gamer.
Yeah. So, no, it's just... It would be recorded, and probably what's happened here in the metaverse, that data, Facebook has that data, I would assume, of the whole interaction occurring, and there would be some real life consequences from that, probably. Yeah. The only reason why it wouldn't matter is if it wasn't recorded and it was just an accusation. Then we go back to the he said, she said on the private jet.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah. So back to the girl that was, assaulted, sexually assaulted on, on a VR experience. It's just really interesting to me because there's 2 ways to look at it, right? One way we could look at it sort of in a harsh way and say, well, why don't you just take your headset off, stop complaining, that's what gaming's all about. But on the other end, it's like by the time you and I have kids, just like you told me, all your cousins are into VR and stuff like that. They're going to want to hang out in public rooms and all of that. And they're going to want to, do the stuff that you can only do in the metaverse. Like, I don't know what, go base jumping or something. You don't want your, little 10-year-old kid to be in danger of possibly experiencing a VR sexual assault every time they're, they've got their headset on.
Yeah, but that's what the boundary's for.
That's right.
So...
Just turn on the boundary.
I mean, they obviously knew that this was a possibility.
Highly likely.
That's why they put it in place. It wasn't something they did after the incident. It's like, no, you definitely should be able to keep virtual entities away from you if you want to.
For sure. Completely agree.
I kind of want more details on this. Is it a feature that you can have sex in the metaverse?
I don't believe so, no.
So how...
I think they just kind of acted it out. Where like they grabbed hold of the character, or and then
Right.
they couldn't move, and
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
one guy just acted it out, possibly something
Yeah.
along those lines.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting trying to bring the metaverse into the general public, because so many people are uneducated. They said the metaverse first is going to be for gamers, you know. Then normal people will get involved. Whereas that's not happening. Gamers are like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
And then just going on and fucking around.
And trolling. It's basically trolling.
And then regular people are trying to use it and be like, what is this?
Yeah. And they're coming in as casuals and being surprised by the overall dynamic of what's going on.
So I think we're going to see so much of this just metaverse, like, metaverse gone wrong shit. And it's just like, it's like old news to me, basically.
We want to know what you guys think. Is it just casual horseplay? Or, is this something that should be taken more seriously and then have possible, consequences, punishments, repercussions for people who go on and act in a very, let's say, abusive way on these types of platforms?
It's funny as well, because if you're playing a horror game, like, the objective is literally to kill people. And you're doing that, and it's like, it's a very popular game.
Yeah.
And people are going to experience that fantasy, and that's what it's all about. So, anyway, speaking of strange things, you got anything strange for me this week?
Well, actually, I do, yeah. So, we've been talking a lot about the future and how scary it is, and all these new things happening. We don't know how to process them. And some of these things, looking into this dystopian future, kind of makes us look back at the old days fondly, with nostalgia.
I don't look...
and it makes you remember, like, was life simpler back then? Was it better? Was it something that we would go back to if we had the chance? So if you are feeling those feelings, I've got the perfect website for you. It's called My 70s TV. And basically, it's a TV, and you can select what you want to watch on it. So you got cartoons, you've got games, you've got news, you've got commercials and stuff like that.
Okay.
And you basically, just like an old TV, you just turn it on, you don't know what's going to play, and you watch some music from the 70s.
This is sick.
And the best part is, because we weren't alive in the 70s, you can actually just change it to the 80s or the 90s or whatever it is.
Yeah, they got the 2000s TV there as well.
Yeah.
This is sick, man.
I was really into it. I think I watched it for at least like 2 hours the
As
other
a
day.
pop culture fan, this is like where it's at. No, I imagine I'm going to waste a lot of time on this.
I just had it playing in the background while I was watching TV. If our show makes you guys, a little bit apprehensive about the future, just flick on My 70s TV or My 90s TV, and
Get nostalgic.
Get nostalgic with us.
That's sick, man. I'm quite a big fan of that one. That's probably the one I've enjoyed the most, other than the Akinator.
Oh, that's good.
The Akinator was something else, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you used it lately on anyone?
Akinator.
No.
No, I haven't. I used it heaps when I first found out about it, and then I lost interest because it was so good.
Yeah. It reminds me of I feel like when I was a kid and I first got a computer.
Mm-hmm.
This is like what you used to do on the internet. You used to go on like the Akinator and do that, or there'd be just all these different things that you could go and do just like that, like little games you can play and stuff. And there was such when I was growing up. My cousin would be like, "Oh, look at this website," and we'd go and look at it and just like lose our mind for ages. Yeah. Or it'd be like a well-designed. There was this one. I think there was like a stick man.
Oh yeah.
You can grab the stick man.
Yes.
And there's like objects.
Uh-huh.
And the stick man can't break. So you can drag it through things and it extends, and it's like this person's limbs are just like going everywhere, and you're just dragging it through things and smacking it into walls, and it's just it's just like a rubber band man, and you're just like,
I could totally waste hours and hours of that, of my time doing that when I was like 14, 13, 100%. See, that's what the internet used to be, right? It used to be like these kind of novel things that we used to do.
It would be like that, or there would be like a funny video that you show people. Did you ever see the badger video?
No. I
The
never
badger,
saw that.
badger, badger, badger.
Oh yeah, I saw that. yeah,
Yeah, like that shit.
I saw that.
I had
saw
like a
that.
folder of like games you could play and those videos, and like friends used to come round, and I'd be like 8 or 9. I'd be like, check this shit out.
Yeah.
Badger, 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 and people would be like, this is
They'd be
nuts.
like, I'm showing it
This
to
is
everyone.
insane.
And now we're just on the internet all the time. I know you're on the internet all the time.
Yes.
So
yes.
am I.
Yeah.
But you like to consume a lot of content. I mean, some would actually probably call you a content king.
Yes. Somewhat.
You're somewhat of a content
well,
king, aren't you?
I do consume a lot of content, and it's mainly just because of my interest in those industries. You know, like music and movies is just something I've always been obsessed with. As a kid, you know, I spent a lot of time This is funny because not many people would know this, because everyone who's really my wider group of people that I've met has always met the outgoing I'm outside Trosk. You know?
Yes.
Because I was in those environments. Most of the people that I know was men in nightclubs. You know what I mean? But as a kid, mum would be working all the time. Most of what I did was watching American TV and listening to music. I'd go buy CDs, or I'd go, you know, that's all I did was consume. As you can fucking see some of what we got going on here. But yeah, and honestly, so we talked about the Netflix festival.
Oh, yeah.
Where Pete Davidson had the tan.
Oh yeah.
So that was at the Netflix fest, and that was at the hall.
Yeah.
So the hall is the new comedy Hall of Fame, and they're calling it the Hall.
Okay.
And they inducted 4 people into the Hall of Fame.
Comedy Hall of Fame.
Comedy Hall of Fame.
Okay.
First 4 people. Robin Williams was one, and Richard Pryor. And 2 others, I can't remember. So they inducted them in, and like Dave Chappelle did Richard Pryor, and like they introduced him. It was quite cool.
Yeah.
But the whole festival, there's so much new content that's come out. And I've watched the new Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
Love, Death, Robots we watched.
Yes.
So Love, Death, Robots, fantastic.
Yeah.
We covered that last time. Stranger Things as well. I just saw the director was speaking about it today.
Yes.
And he said that a lot of it is unstructured, and they have so many different characters. So let's say they've got about 15, 16 main fucking characters. Like every single one of those people are important in the story. Like there's 1 or 2 that maybe gets neglected airtime.
Okay.
So in last season they had one of the older characters and one of the kids that they had no storyline for, so they just put them together.
Oh yeah.
So now this season they've put all the characters that don't have screen time together, or like those 2 together, and it's like they say they do that for it to basically create a different show, because you're seeing these characters that never interact with each other and do it this time. And
It's a good idea.
I just gotta say, as a movie fan, I think I'm about 4 episodes into it. Fantastic. I think it's great. I think it's one of the best seasons yet. Very dramatic, very stupid as well.
Yes.
But very enjoyable.
Okay.
The character interactions, obviously, that's the most interesting part for me.
It's interesting because I've never seen like Stranger Things or anything like that, but I recently created a new Netflix account. And you know, at the start of the Netflix account, they ask you to hit like on a bunch of shows that you like. Yeah. And then it's going to spit out a bunch of suggestions for you. So I liked exactly what you would think I like. So I liked Rick and Morty, Love, Death, Robots, what was it, The Last Stand with Michael Jordan and stuff like that. A couple of nature docos. I even liked that Elon Musk one that you told me about, which I forget what it's called. Like
Lost in...
something into space, or... I don't know.
Going into space, yeah.
I forget what it's called, but, you know, those are the things that I hit like on because I know that I would like that show even though I haven't seen it. And its first suggestion for me was the new season of Stranger Things. Yeah. And I'd never seen it, and then I moused over it, and there was like a short preview of what looked like one of the scariest beings I've ever seen, with all these like wires sticking out of its back, levitating like Dr. Octopus and like the
I think everyone knows now, so that we can very much spoil that. That is so. Have you watched any of the seasons?
I haven't, but my understanding is that it's a lot like X-Men. Like the idea is the same as X-Men. It's like kids with special abilities and they form a gang and go and fight crime, or something like that.
There's only like one person who has superpowers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's how much I know. There you go.
Yeah. So there's basically good versus evil and a bunch of random motherfuckers from the 80s just running around causing shit.
Okay. Set in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is like the best part, which I love so much about the show.
Yeah.
So I think it's the 80s, 70s, 80s. Yeah, one of them. No, it's 80s, 100%. So each season's got like a different big bad, you know.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
New
so-
villain.
Yeah, new villain, basically, and that stringed up motherfucker that you saw, that's obviously this season's troublemaker.
Got it.
And they step it up each season, and it gets more gross and more hectic and more paranormal.
I see. Is
Yeah.
it suitable for children?
Nah,
No.
dude. Nah, it's
Okay.
not. Nah. Personal opinion, fuck no.
Yeah. Too scary.
But it seems like it is.
Yes.
I think any audience from like 12 onwards could probably, PG-13 could handle it.
Okay.
But that's my opinion and
Yeah.
what I would watch at that age.
Right.
Whereas
And you're not a
I
very good
watch it
example.
now and I'm like, Jesus, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So if I'm struggling to watch it now, I don't recommend you show the kids that one.
So your picks for this week in terms of content are
Yeah.
Stranger Things new season.
Stranger Things new season, I would not watch. If you haven't watched The Circle before, I recommend watching one of the older seasons. There's about 3 seasons out, and season 4 just dropped. Season 4 was a bit of a shit show. So with The Circle, it's a game,
Yeah.
and when you got to Love Island, you know, the goal is to win the money at the end, but also find love along the way, because you can't win without actually finding the love. You've got to convince people that you've got love. On The Circle, it's just like, let's strategically fuck people over,
I see.
and pretend that I'm nice to them.
Right. Yeah.
It's
There's
not-
more manipulation that can take place.
The people never get revealed who's fucking them over. Where in Love Island, you find out all the time. Like, they just
Right.
show you a picture from Casa Amor. It's like, if you cheated, like, you're caught.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
forget about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And whereas The Circle, it's not. Every single one of these motherfuckers went in there, notepad, ready to go, game plan, let's play. And the people that were getting voted at the top as influencers, as the most popular people,
Yeah.
just didn't make sense to those people. You know, the ratings would be all wrong because everyone's strategic instead of being like, let's rate the best person highest.
I see.
Because
I
everyone
see.
keeps getting to watch the show and how to win. And
Yes.
each time,
So people are strategizing more and
every
more
single
each
time. And this one was almost unenjoyable to watch because
see.
there was no like random, you know,
Yeah.
every single person was like crazy. But I'd watch it anyway because 2 of the Spice Girls go in and catfish someone. So that is all I'm going to say about it. It is entertaining as hell.
It's a nice cameo.
It's a crazy cameo. So I think they're starting to do more cameos because these Spice Girls were obviously a big fan of the show.
Oh yeah.
So they went on. Scary Spice and Baby Spice went on and they catfished as someone.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah, if you're a fan of the Spice Girls, fan of social media, check out the Circle.
I would watch those 2. I would watch The Hall because it's very cool to see if you are a stand-up comedy fan, and if you watch Netflix, there's so many specials that you can watch. So just any special on Netflix, there's so many good ones. That I'd watch The Hall just to get some background on the guys that really paved the way
Yeah.
for this to be a thing.
Yes.
And it's real cool to see what comedy means to these people. And it is, you know, the only medium in the world where you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Or was.
The Hall really tries to say that it still is.
Well, I didn't see Louis C.K. get inducted into the Hall of Fame, so clearly you can't. Just
They
say
do
whatever
make a
you
joke.
want.
They do make a joke about him though.
Oh, okay.
In the Hall.
Yes.
It is masturbation related.
Well, I mean.
So he didn't say anything wrong. He did something wrong.
Oh,
where he
okay.
jacked himself off in front of a woman. So what they're trying to say
I see.
is that it's the media. It's the platform where everything should be acceptable to say because it is the only time that you can say it. You can make a joke about 9/11 and try and think of like, try to make it talk about it in a lighter way. And there's no other way to do that. Everything's got to be dark the way you discuss it. If you talk about 9/11, you have to say so sad, this and that.
Yes.
Whereas the only way you can talk about a dark thing in a happy light is through comedy. And they get into that, so I recommend The Hall as well, definitely.
Epic.
Yeah, that's all from me for this week.
That's really good. That's 3 really good ones. So, to wrap it up, we got from Trosk content recommendations. We've got Stranger Things.
Yes.
New season.
Yes.
We have The Circle. New season.
Yes.
And we have The Hall, which is for all of you stand-up comedy fans.
Stand-up fans, yeah. Let me see if there's any quick little
morsels.
Yeah, some
Nuggets.
Ones that have recently, yeah, some nuggets. That one's boring. Didn't like that one. I watched the Jackass.
Oh, 4.5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
So I watched the documentary. The actual movie, I think, is not on Netflix. They only have the documentary.
Oh.
A lot of dicks. So that's all I'll say about that one.
Mm-hmm.
If you like dicks, watch it. If you don't like seeing dicks on your TV screen the entire time,
yes,
I would recommend not.
Well, the production company is called Dick House Productions, so I mean, what did you expect?
Dude, the amount of dicks.
Yeah, male frontal nudity.
There is they do this one where they take plexi like glass and they put their dicks both in and then they squeeze them together so that the dick is flat.
Oh.
And then they do a tug of war. Yeah, it's fucked. So that's the Jackass review for you. Lots of dicks. But yeah, that's the reviews for the week. Those are some good shows to go check out. Yeah,
epic.
That's all I've got, really.
Nice, very good. Well, we've reached our time limit. As much as we'd love to stay and keep talking to you guys, that's all we've got for you today. And yeah, Trust, you wanna?
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace out. Thanks for joining us.
Anyway, did I tell you about that horse?